السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, in the Khatirah today, we'll continue the topic we started yesterday. Just for those who was not here yesterday, this Ramadan, inshallah, we'll talk about qafla, heedlessness. And if you remember last Ramadan, we talked about taqwa. The objective of Ramadan is achieving taqwa. So questions that came, why we don't have taqwa? We did Ramadan and we do not achieve taqwa. Some of it achieved 50% taqwa, 10% taqwa, 100% taqwa. I think this is very difficult. Okay, so why did not achieve taqwa? So we have been thinking, what would be the reason? And we believe it is ghafla, heedlessness. And that's why we choose this topic this Ramadan, inshallah. So yesterday, and also overview, like here is a teaser, what are we going to see in this Ramadan. Okay, the first 10 days, inshallah, we'll discuss the problem. What is ghafla? Okay, and what are the symptoms of ghafla? And I use the word in Arabic, and it's in English, heedlessness. So what are these symptoms of heedlessness? And in the next 10 days, the 10 days of the middle of Ramadan, we'll talk about the opposite of ghaswa, which is sahwa. Okay, how can I wake up? Okay, and hopefully in the first 10 days, we show that we're asleep, and so we start thinking, okay, I know I have the problem. How can I solve the problem? And then the last 10 days, how we make sure after Ramadan we're continuously sustaining this. This is the same result. Okay, so let's talk about today. I'll continue the topics that Dr. Khair started yesterday, the definition of ghafla in the language, and the different types of ghafla. And ghafla in Arabic means sahw, I forget, if we translate it to English. But Dr. Khalid explained what's the difference between forget and heedlessness. Forget is that when you forget something, tansa, okay, and you can correct it. So he gives an example, and I'm sorry, going quickly. He gives an example. You can forget your driver license at home. You can forget your mobile at home. The worst dream, the worst nightmare that can happen to everyone. And then you turn it back, I forget, I come back. But ghafla is different. You forget something because it's not in your priority list. It's not in the top of priority list. Okay? So forgetting the mobile is not because it's not in your priority list, you forgot it. But if you know something that can make you go to Jannah and you are not doing it, this is simply because it's not, you don't care. I'm very careful about the word. It's not in your priority list. It's not in the top. There are other things in your top. And this is something, subhanAllah, it's coming from the heart, not from your brain. Your brain understands. When I speak to you about it, and this is what I'm going today, I know. Okay, if you know it, why are you not doing it? This is the question, right? And this is the point that we are going to show. This is ghafla. I'm not doing it because it's not on my priority list. Okay? So today we'll talk about one important aspect, which is time. Okay, time. So time, I hope today I can prove to you time is very valuable. Okay, and I'm going to use economic terms to prove this. And then inshallah, this is dunya terms. And then I'm going to move this to hereafter terms. Okay? Bear with me because I took some notes. Okay. So I will start with what is the value of time. So I assume time is a resource similar to money. Okay? So what is the value of time? And the value of time, you can think of it, okay, I'll spend 1 hour watching a soccer game. Okay, what is the cost of this? Nothing. Okay, what is this? It's just nothing. Actually, Americans have this term of potato couch, or couch potato, right? Okay, which basically are sitting there doing nothing. Okay, but for Muslims, this is not the case. Muslims, this is not the case. Muslims are very careful about time. Time is a very important asset for a Muslim. So let's talk the dunya terms. So I'll take economic term, which is called opportunity cost. Okay, I think in Arabic, I took the name just to, if you want to search it, because I found interesting. There are very nice Islamic lecture about this. تكلفة الفرصة البديلة. The opportunity cost. What does this mean? The opportunity cost means I am going to spend something, money, Okay, what is the best alternative if I spend this thing, this resource? So money is a very important resource. We all know this. Okay, if I spend, I'm going to buy a pen, and I tell you it's $1,000. You look at me, what? Why $1,000? Okay, but you know others could spend easily $1,000 in nothing. Okay, because for them 1,000 is nothing. But if you look into this, the cost, and this is, I'm going to talk in economic terms, the cost of the pen is not actually economics will not tell you it's not $1,000. It is what else you have done with this $1,000, the opportunity cost. That is better. So with $1,000, I could have bought NVIDIA stocks 2 years ago, and now it becomes $1 million. Okay? So the pen is not costing $1,000. It costs $1 million, because if I spend this $1,000, I could have made $1 million. I think you see the analogy. This is economy. I'm talking in terms of doing. Okay? But it gets more complex. Let's take this. If we are going to vacation in Hawaii, how much does it cost? Okay, it costs $3,000, $5,000. Okay, $10,000, $10,000. So, is this accurate? No, because now it's more complex. It's not just money. It is money and time. You spend a week of your life doing what? Okay, and what is the cost of this? The opportunity cost. Okay, and how it becomes more complex, because I could have a children, or I could have a mother that is sick, and instead of spending time with my mother that is sick, and she passed away during this, it becomes invaluable. It's not 10,000, it's not 100,000. I cannot correct this. You understand? The value of money, the value of time here is infinite. I don't know how to evaluate it. It has infinite value. Okay? And this is a good transition to dunya, from dunya to the hereafter. What is the cost of time in this dunya? Potato couch. Nothing. Right? But this is the point. I said Muslims does not look at this from dunya. Muslim always understand, I am living in this dunya and we all die. That's a fact. That's a fact that the Muslim and the non-Muslim know. We all die. But the Muslim understands that whatever I'm spending in this dunya, it is reserved for me by Al-Kareem. So we all work for the hereafter, right? And the Muslim always think with this mentality. So when I do something, I understand the time is something that has a value, but I don't see. And that's part of our Iman bil Ghayb. You believe in something that you don't see, but you believe it because the Quran say it, the Prophet say it, and you say, I'm a Muslim, so I believe in this. So clear, we believe in it, okay? But you believe in something, but why you don't do it? Why you are doing what you're doing? Because you are ghafil. You are ghafil. You don't understand the value of this time. Okay? And this is what we are going to show the symptoms of this in the next few days. I'm going to mention an example and end there. And the example is about a hadith. We always know. We all know. Okay? I'm not going even to read it. I know we all know. Okay? The hadith is in Muslim and the Bukhari, and the hadith say, كلمتان, who can continue the hadith? خفيفتان على اللسان, then ثقيلتان في الميزان.
حبيبتان للرحمن. لا اله الا الله.
I'm sorry, but obviously, I'm reminding myself before I'm reminding you. So we know these two words, okay? We know these two words, right? Subhanallah wa bihamdih, Subhanallah al-Azim. How long does it take to say it? Now, a second, okay? What is the value of these two statements? The hadith is telling us. They are, and this is what makes it right. ثقيلتان في الميزان. So what does this mean? What does it mean? It is ثقيلتان في الميزان. They are heavy in the scale of good deeds. When? In dunya? When you are doing shopping? No. When you are standing between the hands of Allah and you have your book. And we're not talking here about disbelievers. I want you to understand that this is for us. This is for believers who believe in Allah, who come to the masjid. And they are not thinking about these two words until they see the way. And at this moment, you will be standing as similar to anyone else. We're all standing, we're watching. And you'll see someone standing there. And their scale of good deeds is equivalent to scale of bad deeds, or even worse. The scale of bad deeds going down. And then he say, Ya Rabb, anything to save you. Anything to save you. And then there will be a card which has, there is something we missed. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, Subhanallah al-Azim. And Allah, I will say, yes, I know your hadith. I know you said ثقيلتان في الميزان, and you put it there, and then you go to Jannah. I hope you understand the opportunity cost here. What does it mean? And I did not mention the last part of the hadith. حبيبتان, and I want you to understand this. It did not say حبيبتان إلى الله. حبيبتان إلى الرحمن. Rasul is reminding us. It is for the most merciful. So, inshallah, I hope I proved to you that time is valuable. This is one example I mentioned for something I am sure we all know. I am sure we all miss the second when we say Subhanallah wa bihamdih, Subhanallah al-Azim. And this is ghafla. Why ghafla? Because this is not in your top priority. This is not in your priority list. My priority list is my job, my children, my wife, my family, my life, my. And unfortunately, we all know we are going to pass away. And this, all what I mentioned, is not coming except it is sadaqah jariyah. If you really did the right thing, it will be sadaqah jariyah. What really is your skill deed, what you are doing now. So the action item for you now. We are going to do praise the next 4 rak'ah. Think about the Quran, what you're saying. I'm going to give one thing. When you go for sujood and say Subhana Rabbiya al-A'la, just think of the words that you are saying. It's not, because I know how I do it. 3 times. I need to do 3 times before I go and say Allah. Okay? This is how we learn how to pray. But this is not how you connect your Lord to Allah, Ar-Rahman. So the action item is very simple. When you are doing this to now, in the next 4 rak'ah, when you go to Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, just remember this value of these 3 seconds that you are making sujood. And remember, I want this Subhana Rabbi al-A'la to be in my scale of good deed. Jazakallahu khairan for husn istimaikum and for good listening. And I apologize for being sensitive to the heavy words.
جزاك الله خير.